Now, let us understand different types of virtualization techniques. In this video, we are going to learn about two major types of virtualization technique. The first one is virtual machine or VM, and the second one is container. For easy understanding, you can think of VM as hardware level virtualization, whereas container as operating system or OS level virtualization. The example of VM includes VirtualBox, VMware, KVM, etc. Whereas example of container-based virtualization includes Docker, OpenShift, Singularity, etc. Now let us look at what is happening in VM. Whenever you install a VM-based software engine, it installs a layer called hypervisor on your machine. This hypervisor layer basically bypass your host operating system and directly connects the hardware infrastructure of your machine. Now, utilizing this direct connection to hardware infrastructure, you can install any guest operating system of your choice on top of the host operating system or your machine. For example, you can think of installing an Ubuntu guest operating system on top of Windows 10. Or you can think of installing a Windows 10 guest operating system on top of your MacBook, or whatever combination is possible. Now, on these guest operating systems, there are all the operating system features and directory structures available, and utilizing all those available OS services, you can develop your application. So that is about virtual machine. Now let us see what is happening in container. When you install a container type software, then instead of hypervisor, they install a layer called container engine layer. This container engine layer, unlike hypervisor, do not bypass the host operating system. Rather, this container engine layer try to make efficient use of the lower level APIs of the host operating system to enable virtualization. Now, on top of this container engine, it is possible to install a thin layer of guest operating system. For example, you can think of installing a thin layer of Ubuntu guest operating system on top of a Windows 10 host operating system. Or you can think of installing a Windows 10 guest operating system's thin layer on top of the Mac host operating system. Why it is thin layer? Because the lower level APIs are borrowed from the host operating system. Now, although these are thin layer of guest operating system, they are so carefully orchestrated that they can offer all the major functionalities of the guest operating system, like the directory structure and all other major services. And utilizing those services, you can build your software or applications on top of it. So the question is, what is the benefit of container on top of virtual machine? There are four major types of benefits. The first one is size. Since virtual machine uses the full version of the guest operating system, normally the size is very high. Whereas the container, since they use only a thin layer of the guest operating system, the size is several magnitudes less comparing to VM. The second benefit is speed. Since the VM acts just like a normal operating system and directly connect to the host hardware, host computer hardware, utilizing the hypervisor layer, it is slower, just behaves like a normal operating system. But in container, since they utilizes the host operating system APIs efficiently, They are several magnitude faster comparing to VM. The third one is easy integration. Now, all the container-based virtualization software provides some APIs using which you can directly input from your host machine to some software inside your container and then get the output from those containerized software directly on your host machine. So achieving that is extremely difficult in virtual machine. We will discuss about this fact in later videos also. Anyway, so the fourth benefit is container marketplace. Because of the lightweight of the container images, it is possible to upload and download and transfer container images easily over internet. This facility enables to create big repositories with lots of lightweight container images with some popular software already configured in them. And those are called container marketplace. And from that marketplace, you can easily download your software of your choice, work with it, and that's it. So these are the two different types of virtualization, that is VM and container, and the benefit of container on top of VM.